Gyanberry has more than 250 official partner universities spread across 30 different destinations. So we can help you from, in various different countries, ranging from UK, Europe, US, Ireland, etc. Apart from that, since our inception in 2012, we have also already counseled around 10,000 plus students and counting. Gyanberry services are completely free to the students. Whichever university you want to apply to from our partner are completely free. We are not charging anything. Of course, the official application fee of the university will be payable separately to the university. But apart from that, you don't really have to pay anything to us for us to assist you with the processes. Gyanberry is trained by British Council as well as by AIRC. So AIRC is an American accreditation, which allows us to represent universities from the US. And of course, Gyanberry is partnered with several UK universities that we will cover up in the presentation. We have universities which are in the top rank, and then we also have some mid-rank options that you can definitely look into. Now, firstly, before we begin and emphasize on why UK, I would want to just highlight some pointers as to why you should be working with counselors that are certified by British Council. So, as you might already be aware, the British Council is a British organization specializing in international culture and educational opportunities. They train international counselors and they make them best suited to carry out applications to UK universities. So all the counselors of Gyanberry are very well trained to handle UK applications. We implement all the practices laid out by British Council, and we also provide end-to-end application assistance to students who approach us. And due to our rich knowledge and experience in handling UK applications, we are the experts in UCAS application, and we can help you with choosing the right university as per your requirements and eligibility. Now, moving forward, I would like to cover up certain points as to why you should be considering UK as a destination to study. Of course, you might already have your reasons to study in UK, but again, let's just go through some very strong points that might, encourage you further to study in UK. So, firstly, UK is a very reputed destination when it comes to study abroad. There are a lot of top ranked universities that you can look into or apply to for various programs. And the UK degree that you will get after completion of your bachelor's or your master's is going to be recognized worldwide. You're not limited to staying back in UK. You can go to any other country to, further specialize, do your masters, or if you're doing your graduation, your high school, you can go for bachelor's. If you're finishing your bachelor's, you can go for masters. And also, the one great aspect about UK is that their bachelor's degree is just 3 years long. So if you compare it with US or Canada, where bachelor's is 4 years, in UK you're able to finish your bachelor's in just 3 years. There are many universities in UK that are offering, first of all, a wide range of programs that you can choose from, and these programs, they allow you to do just a 3 years bachelor's. Some universities also give you a 4 years bachelor option, where you can even have a placement cell included within your 3 years of bachelor, so you get the opportunity to even do like an internship after your bachelor. So again, these are some of the advantages offered by UK, which you can take advantage of if you go and study in UK. Now, I would like to call upon my colleague to just take forward the presentation and give you more details on the admission requirement and other nitty-gritties. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pooja. It was really concise. I'm sure a lot of students got idea about why should they be considering UK as a destination. In case there are any doubts at all, I will take you further in the session. My name is Ratnesh. I am also one of the senior counselors here at Gyanberry. So now, obviously, we have seen why people choose to study in the UK. But let's have a look at what impact has it had so far on the international student population in UK. So I'm sure you all have a good understanding of how graphs work. So as you can see, right from the year 2000 till the current updated database that is available, that is till the end of 2018, the number of international students in UK has only grown. And that is testimony to the fact that there are a lot of popular universities in UK. They are high ranked, and over the years, UK has adapted really well to the needs of the international students. That is why UK attracts international students worldwide. To put up the count, as of now, it is already over 500,000 students who are studying in the small country, uh, geographically, as you might say, but having a lot of potential for international students. 500,000 is not a small number by any reason. Now, let's have a look at which universities in UK attract the most number of international students. Well, here it's just for the sake of telling you that there are so many international students studying there. We have also shown the bifurcation between the European and non-European students, but still there are so many universities who have such good quantity of international students. As you can see, universities like UCL, University College London, having almost 18,000 students, and then there are so many more in this list. This list could go on and on. We just thought of putting, let's say, the top 10 or something like that. But then in all the UK universities, you will find a lot of international students. It is truly a global culture when it comes to international education in the UK. Now, what are the popular courses to study in UK? Well, because there are so many students in UK, it would not have been possible to attract so many students to a country if that country was specializing in only one or two or three particular courses. That's the beauty of UK. They specialize in so many disciplines that they attract students from a variety of streams, whether it is business studies, medicine, media and communication, natural sciences, law, or if it's arts, engineering and technology for that matter, social sciences or hospitality and tourism. UK does turn out to be one of the favorite destinations of people looking at all these courses. The reason we identify them as the popular courses is because when it comes to the overall statistics of the students who are currently studying in the UK, these are the courses that are being looked upon by those students at the highest level. So definitely, if you're looking at any of these courses, UK is definitely a very good destination for you. But in case you're looking for other courses as well, the overall quality of education in UK is top notch, and you don't need to worry about that. You will definitely be able to find the right balance of academics and get a good head start to your career if you have a UK qualification. Now, obviously, there are so many universities in UK that at times it can be a daunting task in which region to choose within the UK. I'm sure all of you are already aware of the geography of UK. We have the England, we have Wales, we have Northern Ireland, and we have Scotland. So now, how to choose the right university? What are the factors that we should keep in mind when we are choosing the right university? So we have laid out on the basis of our expertise that these are the factors that you should be looking at when you are choosing a university in UK. Now, if you see carefully, there is no word called as ranking given in our criteria. That does not mean ranking is not important, but what that means is the rankings, because obviously that's an important factor. But what we are trying to give you in this session is something more than what is already available. So we are looking at several factors such as the course-wise accreditation. There are several engineering courses which come with specific accreditation from the technical bodies. There are several business related courses that come from, let's say, a lot of business related institutions. And the same applies to the social studies or the psychology type of courses as well. So you need to see whether the degree or the course that you wish to pursue in the UK, does it have the required industry specific accreditation? Very important point. A lot of the students just go beyond, I mean, just do not go beyond ranking, but this is very important for your future to consider that all the courses, whichever course you are looking to apply, has the right set of accreditation. Definitely, the next most important point is the location of the university. What kind of environment are you more comfortable with? And that's what is related to our third point as well, the student life. Are you somebody who would like to stay in a busy city? Well, then London is the right place for you. Or would you rather prefer some place quiet? Then Northern Ireland, Belfast, these are the things which are rightly suited for you. So you have to identify individually at your own level that what environment will suit you the most. You should also research slightly on the temperature aspect of different parts of UK and see which is the most suitable weather for you and the one that you already experienced and the one that will not cause you any trouble. These are the most basic factors that you should look at. Apart from that, other things that you should be looking at is definitely the research and funding opportunities, which means if you get ahead in your career in the university, are there any opportunities for you to get into research? If you are interested in that, then definitely this should be one of your primary criteria. Uh, there are also a lot of courses in UK which come with sandwich programs. Now, what is sandwich program? It's a placement program which is added along with your regular degree. So it's like the two things which are sandwiched or clubbed together for you. So at the end of the course, which will last for 4 years, you'll have 3 years of education and 1 year of work experience. How great is that? When you graduate from the university, you will already be 1 year experienced because of the sandwich program. So if at all your program is available as a sandwich program, in other countries we call that as a co-op program, but here in UK it's more preferred to be called as a sandwich program. If the course that you are interested in is available in the form of a sandwich program, you must go for it. It will increase the duration of your course by 1 year, but remember that 1 year is actually going to be your work experience, and that will definitely help you a lot. And obviously, not to forget why we are studying and why we are investing so much is because we want to ensure that we end up being employed at the end of the course. So that is something that all the UK universities take care of. They make you employable. The quality of education is so high, and the requirement of the industries and the curriculum which is devised in the university are at very much the same level. So you would actually be studying something which is already a requirement in the outside market. So that will make you very highly employable. And that's the reason why many UK universities enjoy more than 90% successful placement of graduate students within 6 months of graduation. So that gives you right amount of confidence that it comes with an investment, but then you know that there are going to be good returns on this investment. So apart from that ranking, which you keep considering, these are the other factors that you should definitely look at when choosing the right university in UK. Now, in case, obviously, that is also something that a lot of people would like to consider, that is there a possibility of finding affordable universities in UK? Well, we have done all the hard work for you. Now on our website, ganberry.com, you will be able to explore all the universities and courses which are currently present in UK. Obviously, it is being updated on a daily basis. So you might find more and more courses, more and more universities listed every time you come here. But already as of now, there are lots and lots of courses available in UK. And as you can see, one of the highlights that if you go to our website and check this, under 10,000 US dollars, you will already find more than 100 courses in UK universities. In fact, I'm going to take this liberty and share with you the entire procedure of doing that so that you are aware when you try to do this on your own, how would this entire thing work. I'm going to click here on this link and I will tell you how this particular thing is going to work for you. So this is the Ganberry website. As you can see, you can just click on find the best fit university out here. And then you can type whichever course you are interested in. Let's say I want to study business related course. You can type what level you are looking at, let's say bachelor's, and then you can select which country. So since we are talking about UK, I will select that out here and I click on the search button. And now you'll be able to see how many bachelor degree courses you can explore on our websites. The answer is 2,483 for the discipline of business administration and management. Now let me just remove this filter so you know that overall how many courses are available. You will now be able to see that within UK, we have 25,746 courses available in UK universities. Now, if you want to apply any filter, you can do that out here up to 10,000. Let's say I am running tight on budget. So I'll just apply up to $10,000 tuition fee as the budget, apply the filter, and now you will still find a good number of options. See, 111 options, as I promised in the presentation, 100 plus options. So these are the courses available. There is business, then there is child and youth studies, there is fine art as well. You keep scrolling, you will find literally everything, be it engineering, be it, let's say, business that we already saw, be it accounting, finance. You will be able to see so many courses. Sustainable agriculture, we all know how important it's going to be few years from now. So you will be able to see all these courses. If you want to know anything about any of these courses, all you have to do is click on the chat now button out here and the counselor will be available for you to answer your basic queries. So that's how you can make use of our website, ganberry.com, and explore the courses not just in UK but 30 other countries as well. I'll take you back to the presentation. So that's about, let's say, the opportunities in UK when it comes to the courses. Now, to take you towards the next step of this presentation, we're just trying to ensure that we don't end up boring you. That's why we are switching people. The next part of the presentation, talking about the admission requirements, the most crucial thing I must say, will be taken care by my colleague, Ms. Sukanya. She is here already. So, Sukanya, over to you now.
Thank you, Ratnesh. Good evening to you all. As Mr. Ratnesh and Ms. Pooja has already taken a lot of slides through already, and you must be having a lot of information by now about UK and how to choose universities in UK. Now, once you've chosen the universities in UK, how you do the assessment or review of your entry requirements. So I'm going to help you with the next few slides. So we are going to cover the year one entry requirements, which is bachelor's undergraduate program. So for bachelor's degree, of course, every curriculum will have different requirements. But just to give you an overall idea in a nutshell, Indian Arabic Ministry curriculum, like which are year 12 curriculums, recommended to have good grades, which is around 80 to 85%. But of course, it may depend on which university you're choosing or which program. It may go higher, lower, depending on that. Specific combination of subjects may be required. Like, let's say if you're looking for engineering programs, then of course the university will look for mathematics and physics as your prerequisite subjects in your high school. If you're looking for, let's say, a biomedical science program, then of course biology, chemistry will be your prerequisite subject. So you need to see the program and the subject combinations which you have taken in your final years. SAT is usually not required for Indian Arabic or ministry curriculum, as long as you have your final passing certificate, your equivalent certificate. That's about it. They don't require SAT for these curriculums. Now, coming to American and SABIS, although it is also year 12 curriculum, but the requirements slightly varies from Indian Arabic and ministry curriculum. So for American curriculum, usually the recommended GPA is 3. AP subjects are required. AP, by which I mean is advanced placement from the College Board. So AP subjects might be required. Now, combination of 2 or 3 may depend on the program and the university. If a student is SABIS curriculum and you are taking the SABIS diploma or the AP, then you fall under the American curriculum and you will have to follow the requirements for the American curriculum. If any student is following the British curriculum, which means they are in Shoifat, but they are doing the British curriculum like IGs, AS, and A level, then they will fall under the British curriculum category. So for SABIS and SABIS diploma and American high school diploma, AP subjects are required, and SAT may also be required depending on the program and the university. For IB and British curriculum, recommended to have good grades. Now, HL or A-level subjects may again vary from the program and the universities. So you must ensure that you are taking the subjects accordingly so that you don't miss out on applying to the university, because they are very clear about the minimum application eligibility requirement. SAT is not required for IB and British curriculum again. So for year one entry requirements for the master's degree program, bachelor's degree in relevant discipline, it may again depend on the percentage, or let's say if you have scored second division or first division, that will depend on which program, which university you're applying to. But we would definitely we will inform the students to have better grades. Let's say distinction is what we will always recommend students to have, but it may again depend. Duration of the bachelor's degree for all the students applying for masters must be minimum 3 years. Some specialized courses may require internship. Now, if you're applying for an MBA program, then of course the work experience will be required. At least minimum 2 years is what they always recommend. So if you have work experience, it will be beneficial and it will upgrade your profile for the application. Standardized tests like GMAT will depend on the course and the university. Usually it is not required, but it will again depending on what program, what university are you applying. If the program is very competitive, then they might require in special cases. Coming to English proficiency requirements, again, very important aspect for the application. For year 1 entry, which is for bachelor's degree entry, IELTS academic or UKVI IELTS academic is required. Now, you can be probably you're applying to other universities or other countries, so you have taken IELTS academic. If you're applying to year 1 bachelor's, it will be accepted. So recommended is 6.5 overall, with at least 6.0 in each subset. Higher, of course, higher the better. Students can be exempted from IELTS in certain cases. For example, if you're British curriculum, or let's say you hail from a country where the mother tongue is English, then of course you will be exempted from IELTS. Coming to the foundation entry, IELTS UKVI academic is what they accept. So normal IELTS academic is not accepted for the foundation entry. Recommended is 5.5 overall. That's the minimum what they require, with at least 5 in each subset. Of course, higher the better. Students again can be exempted depending on the aspects what I've mentioned. If you have done IG's first language English in IG's, or let's say you're from a country where mother tongue is English, basically English speaking country, then of course it can be exempted. Now coming to understanding UCAS. So UCAS is the portal where you can do your application. So I'm sure you all must have gone through it, or you must know about UCAS, but just to give you a glimpse of what things you must ensure you keep it before, before you apply to it. So it is a centralized system where students or school on behalf of the student can apply to maximum 5 universities. So you don't have to apply to universities individually. You can select the universities and you can apply all together through UCAS. Students will have to pay a common application fee. So it is always better to apply through UCAS, so you don't have to again pay each university application fee. It might increase your budget in paying the fee as well. So you can just do the application, pay one-time fee, and your application will go to all the universities where you have applied to. Students can shortlist the universities prior to applying in the UCAS, or can also search in Find a Course. So they have a UCAS Find a Course option. So either you have shortlisted your universities before your application, ensure that you have the UCAS code with you before your application, or else you can always go to the Find a Course in UCAS website and get the university details from there as well. Students can apply based on their predicted grades or last 2-year results. So you need not, it is not required for you to complete and have your final high school results when you are applying to UCAS. You can always apply on the basis of your last 2 years mark sheet. And if, let's say, you have your predicteds, it is always better when your referee is writing a reference, they can also upload your predicted grades. It will also add, it will be advantageous for your application. After the application, it provides various updates on the next steps of the application process. So once your application is done and the university receives your application, you will receive constant updates from the UCAS and from each university on the next steps. So if there's anything else, any pending documents are required, or any additional information if they require, or if, let's say, there is an interview which is required by the university, you will be notified constantly on emails. So ensure that once you're done with the application, it is not the end of it, it is just the beginning of it. You will have to keep a track of your emails so that you ensure that you're not missing out on any of the information, key informations. There are a lot of webinars which are also conducted by the universities for you to know more about the program. They will also have virtual tours. So it's always better to attend all those and ensure to go through the emails once you have completed your application. Through UCAS track, students can track the status of the application and the decision pending. So once you're done with the application, you have completed all the next steps, you can always see, track your application, that where it stands. Is it under evaluation, or has it been declined, or you have received the conditional offer letter? So all the decisions will be provided in the UCAS track post your application submission. So coming to the UCAS sections, now once you have created your username login details, you will find these sections in the UCAS. So first is the personal details. Personal details is nothing but your personal information, your name, your date of birth, all your personal details as per your passport, you need to put it there. Finance is what they will ask you if you will be getting a scholarship from any of the scholarship company, or you are taking a loan from the bank, or is it private finance. So all that you need to add it depending on what finance situation you are in. Choosing university and the courses. So as per your university, shortlisted university, and what program you're looking for, you need to put the code as per that in the university choices. Educational qualification, as we have mentioned, as per your last 2 years, you can update your education qualifications as per the requirements, what they ask for, and you can save it. Personal statement is one of the key assessment factor for UCAS. We'll get on the personal detail aspect in detail in a separate slide. But personal statement is something where you will have to write about yourself so that the university knows more about you. This is a chance for the university to know, apart from what academic information you are adding in the application. So this is something where you can inform about any kind of programs you have done, any kind of voluntary work you have done, what motivated you to do this, what motivated you to apply to this program. So this is what personal statement is all about. References, there has to be references in terms of your, let's say, school counselor or school teacher can refer you, give recommendations, why they think that you are the perfect candidate for this university and this program. And then once you have submitted, saved all the information, you can just make the application fee payment and you can submit the application. As I had mentioned in my previous slide, tips for the personal statement. It is very important because the 50% of the assessment of UCAS application by the university is on the basis of your personal statement. So you need to ensure that you keep these tips handy with you while drafting your personal statement. Less is more, which means that you will have to put all the information what describes you and explains you better, but you do not have to exaggerate on one point again and again. You can be concise in that. Originality is the key, which means that you can refer to a lot of samples. You might you find it in university websites, or let's say in Google, but you will have to ensure that you have written it. Your personal statement should be only your personal statement, because if it matches with any other statement which is there in the website, then it will be plagiarism. So you have to ensure that you are writing the statement and it is very individualistic. Be concise and practical, as I've mentioned, that you will have to keep it very short. You cannot over and over write again and again the same thing. Write about different aspects, but you will have to keep it very clear and concise, so that it is very clear to them what you are and why you want to study this program. Avoid grand and generic narratives. Like, for example, there are a lot of statements where students start from since the age of 5. I was always inquisitive about technical programs and technologies. You can start with a interesting line, so that the first paragraph is where it should catch the eyes of the person, the admission people who are assessing your application, so that they are also intrigued in that and they want to read more of the statement what you have written. Demonstrate your focus and commitment towards the major. Your personal statement should revolve not only around yourself, but why you have chosen the program. So thorough research on the program and why you want to study this particular program in the UK is very important. So it has to be linked with your motivation, with your background on why this program and why in future you want to see yourself studying in the UK, and what are you going to gain out of it. Explain why you're suitable candidate for that major. So they would want to know why the universities should choose you over the other students. So you will have to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward, so that they know that yes, you are the suitable candidate for this major and they should choose you over any other students. Demonstrate achievements beyond your academics, example, social work, internships. So as I've mentioned, any kind of, you have done any kind of project, you have done any kind of voluntary work, any internships, apart from what you have done, let's say in school, anything which you have done outside school can also be added, and it will always upgrade your portfolio. So now UCAS tips, things to keep in mind overall for the application. So you must ensure that you're meeting the minimum eligibility requirement. Of course, post your application, even if you meet the eligibility requirements, the admission decision is never guaranteed, because university receives a lot of applications. So that's the reason all the other factors also holds importance in your application. So before applying, make sure that at least you're meeting the minimum eligibility criteria. The correctness of information, the information which you are providing, if in case they ask, let's say in a statement you have mentioned that you have done certain project, you must ensure that you have certain proof to show. So that's the reason we are mentioning correctness of information is very important. Personal statement, again and again, we are reiterating on that. Personal statement is very important for UCAS. Quality and content of reference. When you are choosing your referee, whether you're choosing your school counselor or subject teacher, please make sure that they know you well overall, as a person, as a student, so that they can write very good and strong recommendation, because that's again one of the main criteria in the UCAS application. coming to the UCAS deadlines, so for UCAS deadlines, medical related programs, medical universities, Oxybridge and medical universities, the deadline is 15th October for the next fall intake. So for 2022 academic year, the deadline is already crossed. So now if you want to apply, you can apply for 2023 academic year. All other universities and programs, it's 15 January for the upcoming fall intake. So for 2022 academic year, September, you still have time and you can still apply until 15th of Jan. For non-UCAS deadlines, direct applications, they are from September to March for 2022 upcoming fall intake, which is 2022 September. Yanberry Partnered University, again September to March for upcoming fall intake. Foundation year applications are usually, they are slightly liberal, so September to May, because in case, let's say you do not qualify for year one bachelor's program, you can again, you can still reapply for the foundation year in the same university. So they have, you can still apply for the May for September academic year. So for the next slides, I will call upon Mr. Ratnesh once again to take you forward.
Well, thanks a lot. I got so much information about UCAS. Sukanya, I think if I was a student, I would start up my application immediately. But still, I'm sure that there are a lot of things about UCAS which are like very technical and not many people are aware of it. And those who are aware, I'm sure, like me, like I'm aware now after this, and all those who are aware already, I mean, all of us would not like one thing about UCAS together collectively. I'll give you 2 seconds to guess what that one thing is. Okay, time up. I'm sure quite a few of you have guessed it already. That one factor that we do not like about UCAS is the restriction on the number of universities that you apply. Whenever you're applying to UCAS, you have to sit around, you have to do a lot of research and be careful that which are those universities that you are actually going to put there as your choices. And I mean, I understand that as a student, you would always want to have as many options as possible. And that's what becomes very difficult with UCAS application. You do not want to apply to those universities where, it's too far of a shot, but then you also do not want to miss out on that slightest of opportunity. So that's what makes it very difficult, specifically the UCAS application, and that's what Ganberry can help you with this as well. You can save your UCAS choices if you apply to Ganberry partnered universities. We have a direct application portal with these universities, and then for those universities, you do not need to apply through UCAS application portal. We will be able to help you apply directly into the university application system, and you will still be considered at par with any other student. You will not have any, let's say, shortfall, or you will not have any advantage. You will just be any other regular student that would be compared on the basis of your merit. But the great part, as I mentioned already, is that you will save your UCAS choices. So if you thought that you can only apply to 4 or 5 or 6 UK universities because of UCAS, let me tell you, you can make it 10, you can make it 12, or even 15 if you like, because we will be there to help you with our partner universities where you can apply without UCAS with the help of Ganberry. Now, which are these universities? There are quite a few of them, and some of them are really well ranked. They already come within top 15 UK. So, for example, you can see Coventry University, University of Bradford, Queen's University Belfast. As you know, Belfast is in Northern Ireland, so they are also split in different regions of UK. Then there is Middlesex University. I'm sure many of you are already aware of it. It's quite an old university. Then we have Brunel University in London. We have the University of East London, Anglia Ruskin University, again quite popular among international students, and University of Hertfordshire. These are just some of them. You can apply to all of them without UCAS with the help of Ganberry, and there are a few more which we can help you with. So do keep that in mind when you fill your UCAS application and you are scratching your head deciding which university to finally go ahead with. You can keep these universities aside and let Ganberry do the magic for you, and you choose other remaining universities in your UCAS application. We have helped many students in the past such way, and they have been more than thankful for this, and we hope to pass on this service to all of you as well. Now, if you would like to know the tuition fee of all these universities, here is a quick summary. For all these universities, we have listed their names, the region, the tuition fee, the cost of living, and the total expense. Now, the smart ones out here would have already taken a screenshot by now. If you have not taken so far, please do that. You can take a screenshot so that you already have an understanding of what are the expenses going to be. So they are not expensive, neither are they cheap. They're all within, let's say, the usual range of cost that you would spend in UK while studying. So that's about all our partner universities. Maybe something that you can focus here in the end is the foundation path. Now, what is the foundation path all about? Let us talk about that. So when it comes to foundation path, in other countries might not be very popular, but in UK specifically, there are a lot of international students who choose the foundation option. The reason being, as Pooja mentioned in the very beginning, that in UK the bachelor degrees are 3 years long, which means you're already going to graduate 1 year earlier than, let's say, your friends who would have gone to USA or Canada. So if you take the foundation route, for example, you can get a progression into some of the top ranked universities in UK. Let's say the likes of University of Glasgow and things like that. University of Birmingham, for example. And you would still graduate in exactly 4 years with 1 year of foundation and 3 years of bachelor's degree. So there are three types of foundation. There is a university specific foundation, then there is a common undergrad foundation, which is applicable for any UK university. And then there is an international foundation year, which is a foundation year clubbed with year one of the university. So that after you are done with that and you obtain the required grades, you can straight away move on to year two. So there are so many options available. Now, what are the key advantages if you go through the foundation year? Well, the best part about applying through a foundation year is that the admission process is relatively easier. You do not have to worry about it. You can focus on your school academics, let's say specifically for people who like to take one thing at a time. So you are in the final year of the high school, focus on that. You are in the final year of your bachelor's degree, focus on that. And once you're done with that, we will help you for the foundation part. I did not mean that once you are finished with that, you have to start this simultaneously, but then the application process is slightly less difficult. So there are good chances that you will be getting an offer from the universities or foundation course. Second, undoubtedly, you will be able to create a strong foundation. That's the reason it's called as a foundation program. That for students who come from a different curriculum, from a different educational background, at times the first year in UK can be slightly difficult. That's what the foundation year does. It creates like a bridge, like a platform in between, so that you have an easy transition from your high school to your university year with 1 year in between. We already spoke about this point that even with a foundation, your degree duration will still remain 4 years. So that's the best part about UK. That's the reason I told you that specifically in UK, foundation courses are very, very popular. You also have the option to switch between different courses. Let's say you did the foundation and now you realize that this particular stream of engineering or this particular specialty in your business course, you're not really liking it. You would like to focus on something else. You can do that because you will still be entering the first year and you have that opportunity with you. So these are some of the key advantages of choosing the foundation option. I'm sure many of you are already tempted by that, but if not yet, let me just show to you some of the universities that you can get into. Have a look at the list of universities. You have the University of Bristol, Glasgow, University of Birmingham, and so many world high ranking universities that are available out here. You can get through them. They are all within top 20 in UK. They're all within top 100, top 150 in the world. So you know the kind of leverage you will be able to obtain from the degree of these universities, and you still graduate within 4 years of time. This is a deal that absolutely deal breaker for many students. So you can definitely consider options like these as well. We will be more than happy to help you if you're looking for any of these options. Even if you're looking for direct entry to any of these universities, we will definitely be able to assist. Now, coming on to the important part, the money matter, the scholarships when it comes to the universities. In UK, the universities usually offer three specific types of scholarship. One are the direct scholarship, which are offered by default to all the international students. And the purpose of this scholarship is to add diversity into the class. So people from different nationalities are eligible for this kind of scholarship, and it is given to you directly as soon as you do the application. Then there is something called as a merit-based scholarship. Now, this scholarship can give you a good amount, for example, because it depends on how well you have performed in your high school. Let's say not just your academics, but even beyond academics, the extracurriculars. All those certificates that you have been collecting so far, this is where they are used for getting the merit-based scholarship. As you can see, the range of this scholarship is up to £15,000, which is almost covering your entire tuition fee. So these may have a separate application. Once you apply to the university, or let's say if you are going through Ganbari, we will by default let you know which are the scholarships that you are eligible for. So that's about the merit-based scholarship. Now, looking at the next one, that is need-based scholarship, which is specifically for students who are not at the right financial state right now. You can submit your documents and you can demonstrate the need for financial assistance, and there are universities who will be able to assist you for that. So there are different types of scholarships as you see, but there is one more very unique scholarship that I want to talk to all of you about. And that scholarship is not offered by the university, but by Ganbari. As an institution, Ganbari is also offering scholarships to students who are applying to universities in several countries. And this scholarship will definitely reduce the burden of your first year tuition fee by up to 20% of your first year tuition fee. So definitely this is a great advantage if you're applying through Ganbari. We will be doing the application. As Pooja mentioned in the very beginning, if you apply to any of our partner university, you do not have to pay anything to us. Instead, we pay you back as a scholarship for applying to those universities. And these are some of the most popular universities as well. So in case you are looking for any sort of financial assistance, you already know that Ganbari will not only help you to apply to universities related scholarships, but then they will also give you the scholarship from Ganbari funds as well. So that's about the G Scholar platform launched by Ganbari, a special initiative to help the students navigate their way into the international destinations. That's what we have been doing it always. So that will definitely help you a lot. Now, coming on to the important things, let's say the opportunity to work, whereas I mean, maybe while you are studying or after that, what are the opportunities? So when you are a student in UK, you have the possibility of working up to 20 hours in a week uh, when you have regular semesters. But when you have breaks between semesters, let's say between the summer breaks or things like that, you can work for more than 20 hours a week as well. The standard working week in UK is only 40 hours by default. So the full time would be 40 hours and half time is 20 hours. You can do that. And they pay really good starting minimum wages, which can range anywhere between 7 to 12 pounds. If you do your math correctly, considering average of let's say 10 pounds for an hour, multiply by 20 hours in a week, multiply by as many number of weeks in a month, multiply by as many number of months in a year, you would know that you can already earn an amount equivalent to your cost of living in UK, which means you can self-sustain yourself by doing part-time work. It is possible. Several of our students are already doing that. So definitely something that you can look out for. The popular options to work are on-campus work, the marketing, education, or accounting related work, or you can also work at the cafes and the restaurants. As we already saw, the earning potential, it's between 8 to 15 pounds per hour for doing the part-time. Now, if you want to know what happens after you are completed your education, so UK has already announced a 2-year post-study work visa for international students. Let me share a good statistic with you. The year which ended in 2020, out of all the sponsored visas which were approved in UK, a whooping 86% of them were actually of students who completed their graduation in UK. So which means that there is a great opportunity for you to get a sponsored visa in UK from the employer if you have completed your education within the UK itself, and that definitely gives you a great advantage from your future point of view as well. So that's about the post-study work opportunities. You can stay there for up to 2 years, find a job, and then continue working as long as you have your sponsored visa. And I already gave you a statistic. You can look up on the government websites and you will realize that this is actually true. And this is just for 2020. 2021 numbers are still higher than that. Now, in case you are still wondering that why should you be choosing Ganbari, we have already informed you about all the benefits that you have along with doing your applications to Ganbari, and I will continue doing that. But before I proceed to the next slide, there are still some important things to share with you. Before that, I would just request you to share your feedback for today's session. you will receive a poll on your screen, and I request you to give your honest feedback about today's session. And then we will definitely use your feedback and improve on our upcoming presentations in the future. So meanwhile, I continue talking. Hopefully you would be able to get done by then. So please go to the polls and give your feedback. It really matters a lot to us to keep checking your feedback and improve our services accordingly. As I was saying, Gyanberry is the authorized representatives for several universities. So you get an edge in terms of having the first-hand information about what is the actual requirement when it comes to academics or when it comes to, let's say, the documentation. We help you from the initial stage, that is counseling, up to visa assistance, which means technically we give you all the information, and till the time you reach the country, Gyanberry counselors will be there with you from start till the end. We have several years of experience in UK admission process, which means that we will be able to give you top-notch services when it comes to applications in the UK. All right, all of you, I believe, have given the feedback already. I would actually want to display that to you so that all of you are aware how the session has turned out to be. I'm really happy to share with you that all of you, all 100% of you, have given a feedback of either very good or excellent. So thanks a lot for that. Even though we do aim for excellent every time we turn out here, but I mean, it's really, really delighting to see that all of you have given the feedback, and it's really nice. We would definitely work harder, let's say, to ensure that all of you feel equally alike and think that the session were excellent in the future. But still, thanks a lot for today's feedback. It really means a lot to us. I will now move on to the next slide. Now, Gyanberry services for UK as far as they are concerned, as I mentioned earlier, and as Sukanya also mentioned, that we provide complete assistance to UK university applications, which includes exhaustive application assistance through the UCAS portal. Sometimes it can be a little complicated for you to, keep juggling between your high school, your extracurriculars, your projects, and then do these things as well. That's where we come into picture. We take complete ownership of this part of the process. Personal statements. I'm sure all of you are already aware how important and crucial they are for your university application. Gyanberry is able to provide you feedback, not just qualitative feedback, but also quantitative feedback on your personal statement so that by the time it reaches the university, it is having the highest quality. We also help you with the Tier 4 visa, which is required for you to study in UK. And definitely when you want assistance regarding which is the right university for you, with the help of our counseling sessions and our university planning services, we are able to guide you on that as well. In case you wish to know anything more about UK, you can also speak to the senior students, the ones that we already are in touch with in UK. Many of them have been placed by Gyanberry, and they are studying in some of the most reputed colleges in UK. Let me show some of those to you. You can see out here Anthony studying in the University of Oxford. Then you can see the other student, that is Miriam, studying at the University College London. You can see Monica studied at the King's College London, and you see Michael studying at the Imperial College London. You can talk to any of them. You see they are doing variety of courses. Anthony is doing economics. Miriam is doing engineering. Michael is doing medicine at Imperial College, and Monica is doing again economics. So you will be able to speak to them. All you have to do is visit our website gyanberry.com and head over to the Super Mentor section. You can book a session with them and ask them anything that you would like to ask about UK. If you have never been there and you want to know the availability of a particular type of food, if you want to know how difficult or easy is it to pass in the exams and things like that, all these things will also be available. They will be able to answer all this. Now, if you want to know the detailed admission requirements, I see there are quite a few questions here in the Q&A session, which are requesting for curriculum specific requirements. Please try to understand that since this is respective to your curriculum and your respective course of interest, it might not be really relevant for other people in the webinar today. So it's always great that you can head over to our website right now while I'm talking and click on that book an appointment tab. You can schedule a free counseling with Gyanberry counselors, and not that just one curriculum related question. You can ask as many questions as you want, as many as you have, for half an hour, and we will be able to answer all of them. So do that right away and ensure that you have all the information that you need about UK, and then you take a decision, is this the right country for me? We have given you the enough reasons, but still you as an individual have to decide what is best for you. And for that, we are there to assist you in every step of the way. So again, a good reminder that you can go over to our website right now and book that appointment. So I would highly recommend that if you are in the final year of your school and you want to join the September 2022 intake, do not delay it any further. We are already done with this year. You know now the UK offices will not be working anymore due to New Year and Christmas celebrations. So it's high time that you identify the options, get in touch with us, and as soon as we are able to do that, we will be filing your applications and ensuring that you do not waste and lose any more time. I think we have answered quite a lot of questions. Thanks to all of you for asking so many questions. It really gives us that feeling of engagement that we are able to answer all your queries. We really look forward to sessions like this, and there are many more webinars coming. So you can always head over to our website and see our upcoming webinars, and we would love to host you in all of them. So please feel free to attend our future webinars as well. And thanks a lot for joining in for today's session and for the great feedback. We hope you got all the information that you were looking for, and we are here to help you for any requirement that you have in the future. Thanks a lot. All of you have a nice day. We will be ending the session now.